Hi there. Welcome to Soul Path Astrology and this week's Astro Report and three-card tarot spread. I am Desiree, your intuitive counselor here on the channel. And if this is your first time here, welcome. If you are somebody who feels something deep in their core, in their heart that wants to step forward, maybe you're overcoming addictions, maybe you're really ready to step into a deeper, more meaningful relationships, maybe you just feel this like pull, this pulse within you that is seeking somewhere to go, is looking for someone to collaborate with, is looking to find a way to just really connect your own deep inner wisdom and bring that forth and live a life based off of that, then you are in the right place. That's absolutely what we do here. I am all about cultivating our own inner guidance system and intuition, believing that we are as much a part of nature as nature is a part of us. There's no separation. And there is within us encoded a deep wisdom that we can, with practice and quieting, attune to and live a life based off of that, informed from there. A very natural evolution and unfolding, I believe, is available to us if we can just hear ourselves. And so that's what this is all about. So if that's you, you're in the right place. If you're returning, welcome, you guys. Woo, we got a fun co-collaborative week coming up here with the energy that is going on. It's wild. Quick little housekeeping, how these videos work. I'll speak about the Astros. It's really important to give kind of a context for everything else that's going on. Then we'll have a very short minute and a half little grounding meditation, which is so good for our nervous system. And it's good to help you align with and attune to that little inner guidance so that when I present the three cards, you have a good feel for what one or ones appeal to you. Then you can timestamp your way to the one that is resonating or watch all three. They really do add to each other. I do recommend listening to all three, though by all means do what feels best to you. And in the end, there is usually a little nugget of wisdom or love to take with you into the week. So do watch right to the end. Lastly, if you like these, please like the video. It helps the algorithm. Comment. I love hearing how these are landing for you and what's coming up for you. And definitely, if you're not yet and you love the content, subscribe to the video and hit that notification bell. It helps grow the channel and every little bit helps. Yeah, so there it is. Share with someone who you might think would love it too. Let's spread the love together. Okay, so let's jump into the astrology this week. I really want to focus mostly on the full moon we had yesterday on the 6th. It'll be the 7th, depending on what, like today, depending on what time zone you're in. But this energy, the full moons are about shining light on what needs to be seen. Like what is in our subconscious is in the shadow. You can't know what it is. It's until you do. I know that sounds very simple, but so often it's our unconscious that is actually running the show. And until you can slow down and take a good, unflinching view at your projections and the reality you're experiencing, like it's almost like this backdoor way of seeing the unconscious. As long as it's unconscious, it's not conscious and it's running the show. Full moon, the energy in the full moon time really amplifies our ability to be able to see our own shit, to be able to see the projections that we have going on, to be able to see these little dark corners of our psyche and arrive for them, to bring them, to shine the light of our conscious awareness onto them and get the gold that is hiding there in the corners. Full moon energy is like potent as shit. And this was an Aries and what they call a super moon because it's at its closest to the earth. So it's going to look really big in the sky. Anytime a planet is at its closest, it has its deepest impact on us, energetically speaking. Aries is like an Aries full moon takes no prisoners and is very self-focused in an important way. And by that, I mean, it is like this is the time to be doing that inner inquiry. The full moon wants you to have a look at yourself. It wants you to ask potent questions around the life that you have and what do you love about it? Because it's so important to own our wins. It's so important to be a sponge, soak in the stuff that is a yes. It is this is working. That is something to be proud of. And also, and sometimes we need to do a lot of that because it creates the resiliency. It creates like a spongy, soft place so that you can nestle into that and then look at the crunchy hard stuff. Then look at where you maybe have been falling down or where maybe an old wound pattern has just been repeating itself over and over again. And it's because you've already cultivated that warm, self-loving, cushy place that you have the resources to take the unflinching look at the crunch. So by all means, allow this full moon to shine on what is working for you, what you are proud of, the shifts and changes and growth that you have already accomplished. And then do some journaling. What is it that you most need to see? Call your higher self. We'll get into that with the cards. They're beautiful this week to support this energy. The other thing that's going on, so today, October 7th, Mercury moves into Scorpio. We'll talk about that. And it stays there until the end of the month, till October 30th. And then October 14th, so next Tuesday, Venus moves into Libra. And thank God for that, because Scorpio is in Mars, or sorry, Mars is in Scorpio right now. And with Mercury in Scorpio, like this is Mars is can be a little aggressive. It likes to be in Scorpio, but it can be a little aggressive. Scorpio, like that tail, it can strike hard and it can strike deep. Scorpio at its highest octave, it's so good for shadow work. This is the archetype of going deep, of finding those places where it's taboo, where are the places, whether it's a golden taboo. So it's like, don't be too high and mighty. Don't be too shiny. Don't be too beautiful. Like those are golden taboos. Or is it don't be too needy? Don't be too manipulative. Don't be too, right? So this is like coming into all of these places, all of these qualities of character, all of these. Sometimes it's even a need, right? Like, so a big one is the need to matter, the need to belong, the need for attention. Where are the places and ways that you're trying to get those needs met that are indirect because you've repressed it. You've said to yourself, "Oh, I don't need to be the center of attention. Oh, I can just wait my turn. Oh, I don't really need or want that thing. I'll just let someone else have it." But underneath that, there's actually this like, "No, I want it. I want to be the main character in my own life." Can you own that? Right? Scorpio is asking you to go deep. Where have you repressed yourself? Where are you making judgments about other people that it's only like you've so far repressed yourself from these qualities that you can only see it in other people? Like, this is a really potent exercise, like to think about the people that you know and the qualities that you admire that you don't think you have, but you admire in them. And then I'd like to invite you to consider the qualities that you would reject, that you would never do that. You would never say that. And I'm inviting you into this is the light. And Scorpio wants to do this deep dive. Full moon wants to do this shining the light on it because both ends of both ends of that spectrum is your golden and your dark shadows. These are the stuff you've repressed. Like you might look at somebody, let's say, who's behaving really poorly, who's lashing out, who is being very immature and emotionally messy. But if you can see how you've been like that, or you have also adopted that at times in your life, but that currently you don't have space for it, that's not a projection, right? That's not you disowning your own qualities where you've been immature emotionally or you've attacked out of fear, right? When you can recognize those less than positive qualities in someone else as you having those as well, you're good. That's you owning it. But if it's something you literally think you would never, there's an invitation there. There's probably something you've shoved down in the shadows that is, if you bring it forward into the light, then you can work with it in a healthy and direct way instead of sideways where the manipulative tactics and passive aggressive instead of just being forthright. So that's really good. Mercury there, like in Scorpio, and with Mars being in Scorpio, it's like this is such a potent month to go deep and say what needs to be said. Say what parts of you have you been editing or doing the premature rejeculation where you reject yourself before the other person can reject you. What thing have you been like swallowing down for maybe even years that needs to come up and be said, and say it in a kind way, like be diplomatic, but still direct. and be mindful because Mars and Scorpio is quite okay with being super and just being like waiting until it's a boiling point before saying something. And then it comes out really aggressive. The invitation is to say the thing before it's a boiling point, before it comes out like a stab, and noting the tendency is it's gonna be uncomfortable. You're gonna want to keep it hidden, likely, and hope that you can just keep going along to get along. But the astrology right now, the weather, the energetics, and the archetypal energy that's like infusing us right now is calling for transparency and truth, even if it's an ugly truth. But be mindful of the delivery of it. Be mindful, like let the Mars and Scorpio that wants to speak the truth, that wants to speak from the depths, from the belly, to do so though with some refinement, to do so with some tact. That's the invitation with that. Maybe you let it boil all month. Maybe, you're journaling about it. Maybe you keep it inside for a little bit, but make sure you're journaling about it. Like, don't just keep it and repress it. Perhaps you choose to keep it, but keep it in your journal. Or maybe share it with your therapist or a trusted friend who will hold the container and won't be like blabbing about it to everybody, but to bounce it off with the intention of when Venus moves into Libra on October 14th. So next, maybe it's this whole week. You ruminate, you think, you plan, you figure it out, you get clarity on it. Tuesday next week, Venus in Libra is so beautiful. Like this is seeking harmony and love. Venus loves being in Libra. It's like its natural position. And so it would be a really great time to express the stuff that you have been working on this week that is in the dark, that is in the depths of your belly. Like come to your own self-love and advocacy. Know that who you really are, the actual shape of who your being and your soul and your heart is so beautiful and is so acceptable, and that it's okay to present that in its entirety, in its truth. And you may lose some friends, you may lose some connections, but you're going to gain so much better ones, so much more raw and real and authentic and celebratory, where you can have some actual real like dancing of the DNA strands together to create something sincerely and legitimately and very naturally beautiful. So there's our astrology weather. We'll just stick with those. If you want help with that, if you want a container, if you need someone to bounce it off of, if you need that safe place to do that self exploration, I love doing that. That's absolutely what we do with readings. I can do coaching programs with you. We can tap into your astrology, your numerology, tarot cards if you'd like, or we can just stick with the basics, right? I listen to patterns and I hear them. Like it's like a superpower I have to hear a story and then to be able to very easily parse out what it is that's in the dark that's been running that particular storyline. So if you want some help to see that, I love doing that. It's like absolutely one of my favorite things to do. So throwing that out there, you can DM me. The link to my calendar is in the description. You know where to find me. Do so. Okay, here we go. Let's do our grounding meditation today before we do the card selection. If you can, I invite you to close your eyes or just soften your eyes. Become aware of your breathing. Noticing as your breath fills your chest and fills your diaphragm, let it stretch your belly out. Arriving in this space, allow your brow to soften, your tongue to drop down from the roof of your mouth, your shoulders to drop away from your ears. Softening everything, arriving here in this moment. Breathing in, breathing out. Just noticing your body, your weight, your breath, your heartbeat, you inside this body, inside this space, inside this moment. And from this place, imagine seeking and finding what you most need in this exact moment, knowing that the universe is stacked in your favor, that you are nature and nature loves you, and you have written yourself the most extraordinary love story in the world. And what is the next thing you need to step into the next most natural, most life filled moment? Placing your hand on your chest, over your heart, or on your belly, or both. I just invite you to take in one last deep breath. Pausing at the top and audible exhale. Relaxing everything as you open your eye and return here to me. Okay, so let's do our card selection. Card 1, card 2, and card 3. 1, 2, 3. Let's jump in. If this was your selection for card 1, this is what you've got. Do, 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 do. The King of Wands, our natural born leader. I love the suit of wands. So this is creativity, it's spirituality. The king in any suit is always mastery, mastery of the masculine. And in this case, it's very much about leading the way in a very measured but exciting way. This is a fire sign. So if it's about somebody, it's a man who's either Aries, Sagittarius, or Leo. Perhaps this is the archetypal energy in you that's coming online. This leadership, this wise leadership that's grounded in its own spiritual evolution, in its own divine, deep knowing of its isness, if you will. With the kings, there's always an energy about long-term success. There's like, if this was your card, this is like an affirmation to like keep your eye on the long game. Trusting that inner guidance system, that step after step after step is leading you down the correct path for you. Maybe you're coming into a mastery around an art or around a chapter in your life that has to do with leadership, that has to do with like creativity, right? Because creativity on it is kind of like this ephemeral, it's hard to, it's not very tangible. It's like, who is the idea fairy? Where does that stuff come from? And the king is like, he's okay with that less than tangible understanding, that he's just really learned how to allow the muse to move him and to be in service to it. There is maybe a longing in you to own this energy yourself. Like maybe this is like an affirmation of like, yeah, you want to, have you been feeling that call to really become, like, what does leadership mean to you? What does it mean to be a wise leader? What does it mean to have loving leadership? These would be really beautiful contemplations if this was your card to lean into. Yeah. Yeah. And I do encourage you to listen to the other ones. They all tie in together. They usually do, but there's a really neat sort of denouement, unrolling of how they fit in together this week. And so there's card 1 if you'd like to explore this deeper or get your own personalized, because of course these are generalizations. If you want your personalized reading, I'd love to do that. I'm still taking appointments for this month, so there's still room. You can DM me or hit me up on the calendar and just pick a day and time that works. Otherwise, know that I love you. Comment below. Let me know what's going on in your world. Yes, loving leadership, masculine, the divine masculine as he arrives on the scene. There's a quickening around this, you guys. This is a theme that's been coming up in many of the people in my my life's lives. It's definitely this call to the masculine. And what does it mean? What does its next octave look like? What does that look like? Can you find it within you? What does that feel like? Okay, card number 2, if this was your selection, the Knight of Swords. Our Knight of Swords. He loves going off half cocked. Inherent in the invitation in this card is like, oh, I love your energy. I love your like charging ahead no matter what. And maybe just pause for a second before you do and just make sure everything that you're aligned. Make sure that you're moving out of a movement towards what excites you rather than moving away from what is fearful. This is about really standing in your integrity and your truth and taking steps forward, even though you might be a bit scared, but like moving not out of the fear, but moving towards the thing that you love, moving towards authenticity, moving towards your true north. The sword cuts through shit, it cuts through BS, right? And the Knight of Swords is, he has a lot of movement energy. There's a lot of fast action, fast thinking involved with the Knight of Swords. And so this is why it's really important, if this is your card, to just take a moment to connect, like slow down, even if it's just for like a short little meditation like I did, but just arrive in the moment, check in, check in. And then, yes, let that energy of cutting through the crap move you forward in that exciting direction of do, 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 and coming into this next chapter, right? Like, we are this, as we're the tail end of 2025, we're sort of like, we're coming into the very end period of it. And February of 2026 is just going to be so awesome. There's some huge astrology stuff going on, and like, the energy, the weather that we're anticipating, the scaffolding, the energetic scaffolding that is going to be in place, because it's like sheet music. I think it was Pam Gregory used this, and it's just such a beautiful way to describe the astrology. So your personal chart, your natal chart, and the current, it's the sheet music, but how you choose to play, what instrument you pick and how you choose to play it, that's you, right? So the astrology, the sheet music, the song that's coming online is really cool. How you choose to show up for it is entirely up to you, right? The king or the Knight of Swords is asking you to get clear on what is important to you and to take action on it. Take mindful, loving, inspired, divinely inspired, heart inspired action on it, trusting that it'll work out for you. Okay. And especially if you tie it into the first card, there's a real mastery and maturity being called in. I hope that landed. Let me know if you liked it. Please hit the like, subscribe to the channel. It's so helpful. The more I get, the better it gets. The more love there is, the more co-creative energy there is in the space, the greater and faster the shift we can have together collectively. If you want a reading, you know where to find me. I love you. Okay, card 3, last but never least, card 3. Ah, yes, our beautiful High Priestess, card number 2 in the Major Arcana. So we've got the King. We've got the Knight, we've got the Empress, Divine Feminine. Is anyone else dancing with this need and desire to nurture the feminine? Are you feeling in your own life like this longing to just like rest for a bit and to wanting to be able to trust in the structure, in the integrity of the system, of the masculine structures that are, because it's all falling apart right now, like what we've built globally, right? The systems, our economic, our government, our teaching, education, our health systems, it's all collapsing. And the feminine collectively, we've been playing both roles a lot, like this whole, oh, you can have it all. Like you're supposed to have a career and raise your kids and be soft and feminine and it's like exhausting. And many of the people I'm speaking, many of the women I'm speaking to are exhausted. Many of the men that I speak to are longing to step into this, like that king energy, but they're not sure how. If this was your card, she's like asking you to trust your intuition. And if your intuition is asking you to eddy out and rest and just like have a bath and practice being gentle, like practice nervous system regulation techniques, touch yourself like gently, find a way to create some softness in your life, then do that. The Empress, she she is the divine feminine. She is the gateway between this 3D experience and the divine higher energetic vibrational experience. I mean, we're in all of it at all the time, but when she arrives, it's like she's letting you know that your connection to that broader perspective, that deeper wisdom, that higher understanding is like the veil is thin. Trust your intuition. Create the space you can hear and feel her. And then you can take action on that. Step into that Empress energy or the High Priestess energy and really allow that sovereignty that resides in the feminine, the strength, her unique strength. It isn't the strength of pushing through, it's the strength of being magnetic, of trusting deep in the marrow of your bones your own knowing. It's cultivating practices that honor your limitations and celebrate your strengths. It's giving yourself permission to grow. It's giving yourself permission to let go of the rules that you've been holding yourself by that have only been constricting you because you weren't sure you could trust your inner guidance. This is affirmation you can. Not only can you, you need to do it. It's calling you to attend to and attune to this higher, deeper wisdom within. Breathing that in. Yes. I hope that landed. If you'd like a container, I would love to create one for you. Let's attune to your deep inner wisdom. Bring it online. Let's find ways for you to celebrate that and be more in alignment and living a life from that together. I would love to do that with you. Final words of wisdom, the last little tidbit of love to take with you as you move into the week. This Scorpio energy, know that you at your depth is so true and good and right, and the world needs it. The time for hiding, the time for just being a chameleon, the time for going along to getting along is done. It's over. Yeah, it may get messy as you step into the truth. There may be a temporary discomfort as we stop shoving actually, and as we allow this squeeze to ripen us, to strengthen us, as you allow what is not true or correct for you any longer to shed, as you step into this radical honesty and speak from the depths of your very bones, where you connect to the sweet, loving, beautiful, gentle soul that you are, and be that, speak that, build from that. Trust that. This is the world we want to build, is the one that's sourced from there. And whatever your version of that is correct. And you can believe that, you can trust that. We need every instrument in this symphony that is consciousness evolving, is humanity evolving, is the earth, the planet, the animals evolving, is all of this beautiful one verse universe, one song comes together in the most incredible harmonic symphony. It needs you to be most aligned, in tune with you. What a joy. It's you. You get to be the most you've ever been. Oh, I love you. Be you. Join in the fun. Please like, love, share. Enjoy this week as we step into this intense but important energetic portal next week with that Venus energy that's coming online, with the Venus and Libra energy. It'll be a little gentler. This week is going to be a little bit intense. So do what you need to do to care for you, to give yourself the support you need to really do the work and show up for this in a way that feels nourishing, feels real, feels like the real deal. Okay. Love you. Mwah. As always, friends, enjoy your week, and we'll see you next Tuesday.